Hey, Big V here. Today we're talking teams and we're having a little bit of fun talking about how to build relationships with trust and really create ongoing relationships that build clients for life. We've created a system at Workman Success Systems called the Relationship Wheel that has some very cool processes and thinking through how to create relationships. See, relationships, some people come to naturally, but when you're intentional about building relationships, it gives you the opportunity and the permission to ask for the business. So I'm going to talk to you about our process in building relationships with trust and how we do it. Using the relationship wheel, I want you to just imagine at the center of the wheel the words BRT, building relationships with trust. Everything we do is focused on building those relationships. It begins by first doing your research. When you have the opportunity to work with someone, the first thing we should do is we should do research and find out who they are. There's all kinds of tools, Google, analytical, artificial intelligence, there's LinkedIn, and all kinds of ways of finding who people are. So we use tools to do research about who the client is. I want to know who they are. On our initial contact, we use the forward dialogue. That's where we ask them questions about what interests them. Tell me about your family. What makes your family? Mom, dad, kids, whatever's important to them when family is related. Occupation, what do you do for work? And do you like what you do? And what are those things you focus on? And I'm looking for things that we have in common. Recreation is what do you like to do for fun? What do you do when you're not working? Like, do you build Legos or do you go on ski trips or do you like to take walks? Whatever the thing is that allows you to relax and have fun. And then dreams. What are your big goals? Where do you want to go next? What's your big plan for the future? In the initial contact, when we think about family, occupation, recreation, dreams, those are what we call the forward dialogue. It's not a new concept. It's been around and sells forever, but it's becoming, I like to say, interested, genuinely interested instead of being interesting. When you're interested in someone, they begin to like, know, and trust you. And the art of conversation is so important. When somebody asks you a question, you respond by answering the question and then re-asking them the same type of question so you can learn about them as well. The answer, ask, acknowledge, ask process in this initial contact is so important in building the long-term relationship. Once we've built this relationship where we have some basis for a friendship, we can find some things we have in common. And I've learned that you can find something in common with pretty much everybody you run into. It doesn't even matter. I'm probably the squarest guy you'll ever meet. I'm a dad with 6 kids from Salt Lake City, Utah, with just 1 wife, 10 grandkids. And you wonder, what do I have in common with this guy? Well, how many of you have kids that don't do what you ask? How many of you have goals that you want to have a better life for your kids than you had growing up? How many of you like to go boating or skiing or like to do things in the outdoors or you do fishing? How many of you like to have a date night or do something fun with your spouse or significant other? You see, if we ask enough questions, we can always find something that we have in common. Common challenges, common interests, common things. So instead of looking for what makes us different in the building relationships aspect of building relationships that are long-term, find something you have in common. And I found that everybody has things that we have in common that are interesting. And it's fascinating to me. I've yet to run into somebody that I can't find something in common with. Like really. And some people that you would be most shocked by because when you prejudge by looking at someone because of who they are or what they look like or how they dress, you might think you have nothing in common. But when you start asking questions, you find that you had some same childhood experiences. You went to same schools. You have common friends or common interests. And whether it's art or music or style, it's just interesting. You can always find common things. The next thing in building relationships, and I think this is one of the most important pieces, is once we understand that we have a common relationship, I approach the relationship with, all right, how can I make your life better? I call it SRO, serve regardless of opportunity. I want to have relationships with people where it's based on how can we serve or help each other, not what can I get for myself. How many of you have had friends that you only hear from when they need something? How many of those are your kids or your family members? Well, I want you to think about the relationships that are real meaningful in your life. And they're the people that just check in. What's going on? How are your kids? How are your family? Hey, I was thinking about you today and thought I'd reach out. Serving regardless of opportunity is how deep, meaningful relationships are made. The next is messaging. And that is, how do we message to the people we have relationships with? If I'm recruiting or trying to sell someone or create an opportunity, then the message is based on our relationship first. It gives me permission to say, if real estate comes up, would you mind just thinking of me? If I don't have the relationship, I'm just another salesperson with a pitch. So build the relationship first, use messaging that opens a conversation where we can have a face-to-face interaction or get to meet each other face-to-face. During that face-to-face meeting, we do a deeper dive into what their needs are, what their wants are. If they're doing real estate, then I want to know why they're moving, what they're hoping to accomplish with the move, what's important to them in features of the home. Are they both on the same page as a couple, or do they have different wants and needs? And we really ask lots of questions to find out what those needs are so that when we provide solutions, they are are aligned with the needs of the clients are. Where most people fail is once they've had this face-to-face meeting and they've done this deep needs probe and they've gone through the process of building a relationship, is they don't have systematic, strategic, ongoing follow-up. I like to say we follow up until they buy or tell you to die. We follow up forever. I want you to follow up with people that you have relationships with until they file a restraining order. And I'd say that with a little bit of humor, but I want you to think about your follow-up process. What happens when you follow up is it puts you in a position to where you have the opportunity to ask for the business by consistently following up, by serving in your follow-up, by giving information, by giving properties, by helping them move closer to their goals. When they get to deciding to make the purchase because you've come in with a servant's heart, you're more likely to earn that trust. And by earning that trust, you'll gain their business. When you're going through this process and it's a recruiting process, it's the same thing. We first do our research, we do the initial contact, we use the forward dialogue, we find out what their needs are, we look for gaps, we serve regardless of opportunity, we message about how to solve some of their problems, we have a face-to-face, we follow up, and then we close. And when they decide to join our office, we then go through a process of onboarding. So whether it's a client, or whether it's a new team member, or whether it's somebody that's joining you, you then have a systematic approach to onboarding. When you have an onboarding system, it increases trust and it increases the likelihood of success in the relationship. Whether they join or they don't join, the reason people fall through the cracks, I don't know, how many of you have people that you run into in your life that you really wish you would have done a better job staying in touch with? Like, is there anyone that says no to that? I mean, I think of people that I just had great relationships with, and then we went different ways in our lives, or we moved, but we didn't follow up. The reason you don't follow up is because you don't systematize your follow-up forever. Even if it's an annual birthday card, or a call on the anniversary of their home, or a follow-up on your graduation when you all graduated high school or college together. Scheduling your follow-up with critical relationships is how lifetime relationships are made. So my encouragement to you is to follow the BRT wheel. Build the relationship of trust, follow the process in building these ongoing relationships. I'm going to give this to you right here. It's at the bottom, and you can download my BRT wheel and go back and listen to this video often and think about who it is you want to have a better relationship and use this process to build those relationships. And as a result of building those relationships, you are going to be blown away at how the business takes care of itself.